BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/BerlinExplorer. So welcome to this 15 minutes of experience, and today I'm with Linda Acker from Brooklyn, New York. Welcome, Linda.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, it's really a pleasure for me to have you here, especially for your art is so amazing, so particular, so personal, and it's not easy to have people like you, especially today in this century and in these last years, that is so really particular and as a perspective. I mean, so silently in the way, so colorful and poetic. But
Thank you very
before
much.
to go really deep inside of your picture, your photography, and today we talk a bit about experience of in the human way and the photography way. Just if you can introduce us a bit about yourself to the people they don't know you, that they can
Okay,
know
sure.
more about you.
Great, thanks. So I live in Brooklyn, New York. I've been getting increasingly serious about photography for about the last 10 years. I started out doing, well, I didn't even know it was called street photography, but fairly pure street photography, traditional street photography, but gradually came to abstract the photos more and more. I found that I really wanted to have ambiguity and mystery in my photos, and I started using shooting through things or reflections, shadows, silhouettes to try to add the mystery and ambiguity. Because I really see the world as a very complex place with a lot of different interpretations, a lot of gray, shades of gray, not black and white. And so I want to do that in my photos as well. I want to show the way I see the world.
And yeah, so I see the world also in a way really complex, full of different shades and different time. And just to go a bit more deep in your photography, because it's in a way they are really abstract, but in another way they are so not abstract, and they can catch this simple way to communicate. And I like a lot that because they have this two opposite. They are so simple and so complex. And
Thank you.
we can say, are you a person simple and complex?
Yeah, I guess that's probably true. Probably more on the complex side, I like to think, but maybe parts of both. I do see some things fairly simply.
Seems like when I watch your picture that I don't see picture, but I want to say paint, but it's not really the right word, paint. It's like kind of years ago when there was the first Photoshop, there was this filter, and you could click on the filter and this effect kind of paint vector, and it's a mix in a way, and I like a lot that because I don't think it's that, and I think is more about the time passing and the elaboration of the layers of the frame captured in your picture. But I'm really curious to know, how did you get to this point?
I really just kept shooting. I mean, they say, they tell you to find your voice in photography. You should just take a lot of pictures, and that's what worked for me. I just went out and took a lot of pictures, and just gradually, I just took what I was attracted to, and gradually it moved to this way of seeing things. And I think part of it is I don't really want to impose my vision of the world on people. I kind of want to invite the viewer into the frame. And so by leaving enough open, I think it lets the viewer put their own interpretation on what they're seeing, which kind of matches how I like to be in the world. I like to try to control people. I like to let everyone figure things out for themselves.
So we can say the photography take much of the space from your life.
Yeah, I think everyone in a way shoots themselves, even if you don't realize it, that you're really searching for yourself and learning about yourself and putting it into your photography.
I'm totally agree with you. I mean, the photography is a tool to research outside, probably something we don't see inside,
Exactly.
and it's always there. We cannot
We can't find
avoid.
it.
Yeah, we cannot escape from that. We are
Yeah,
just keeping what is us.
exactly.
Even if we want, I was talking in the podcast before this um, about these things that you can run away, you can try every technique possible, you can try every style, you can try to create the images you have in your mind, but these images you have in your mind are probably images from someone else, and keep to someone else. Do it your picture.
No, exactly. If you go out with a preconceived idea, that's probably because you saw that photo already and you're trying to, may not even realize it, but you're trying to reproduce it. I like to go out and just see what I see and react to it. And
I
I
really
think
like
that gives a much purer photo.
I really like the collection you have, wall to wall. It's really full, particular, really particular. I like a lot,
Oh,
and
thank you very much.
it's kind of I don't know. I'm transponded to my years when I was doing more graffiti than photography, and yeah, the different kind of shapes of the brush and different tones, bright. It's amazing. I really like. There is one in blue. It's so. I it's special. I think it's special. I don't find
Thank
the
you.
right word, but let's go a bit more in your life as a person, more as photographer, and in which position the photography came to be the tool to express yourself, and if you had sometimes you couldn't express yourself with photography, so then what happened in your life then?
I'm sorry, when I started to do photography, what happened? So
No,
I didn't
no, no.
understand.
Just sorry, because I mixed it up. I was asking if photography as a tool in your life, in your personal life, helped you to realize some stuff, and what was this stuff, these
Help me
things,
realize stuff about myself or
yeah, about yourself
yeah.
as human, yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing it came to realize, I think one thing my photos really show is that I'm kind of torn between wanting to be fully seen as a person and wanting to remain in the shadows. I'm an introvert and I like to just be an observer, but on the other hand, I want to be seen for who I really am. And I think that's kind of the mix in my photos, this mix between seen and not seen. And that's kind of one thing I've come to realize about myself as I looked at my photos.
So you usually go out alone to taking picture, or you're
Yeah.
sharing with someone these moments?
Yeah, normally I go out by myself. Sometimes I go out and shoot with someone, but even then we kind of break apart and come back together. But normally I just go out. I mean, especially the last, 18 months with the pandemic, it's been just go out with my camera and see what I see. Although there aren't many people out there, but
Yeah, sure. There are many people, and it's the parts interesting. I think in your pictures, that's what we don't see. I mean, what I see is clearly and not clearly in other way, but what I don't see, and this is what make me curious. What other human make which part they make in your photography? What you think if the human are part of your photography or not?
Yeah. Well, when I do I have what I call abstract street, where I follow the rules of street photography, meaning I don't clone, everything's candid. I don't clone things in or out. I just go out in the street and look. And those generally do have people in them. But in the last 18 months, I've also gone more fully abstract, and then I've started using multiple exposure and intentional camera movement, taking pictures of the Brooklyn Bridge, a lot of different things, and those tend to be more about my environment, and they generally don't have people in them. So I'm still learning and experimenting. The pandemic gave me access to a lot of workshops that aren't normally available. A lot of people that were giving in-person workshops put them online. So I was really lucky to be able to study with Susan Bernstein. I don't know if you're familiar with her work. she's a really excellent photographer out in LA, and Doug Chinnery and Valda Bailey, who are in England, who I just normally wouldn't be able to study with, but I was able to. And that's helped inform my photography as I move forward.
So can I say in a way that probably the most beautiful moment for you are a moment where you can find a lot of mirror and a lot of rain, probably.
That's a good rain, snow. I love snow. It doesn't snow often enough here in New York anymore, man. I love rain and snow. You are right. And reflections.
Because I really like to also make picture through window of glasses, mirror, every kind of reflection, everything I can see through. And but when it's raining, people when it's raining in Berlin start to say, "Oh no, it's raining, it's depression," you know. And when it's raining for me, it's like, wow, amazing! I can go out taking pictures.
I got to go out, yeah.
Yeah, because there are a lot of reflection of the light, so it's really particular. And I think, in a way, when it's raining, you can see the real city, the real intention of the city, because most people, they just try to be inside and don't get wet, and then there are the people are enjoying the rain. And now I'm just moving my mind to a moment. I was some months ago last month in the hospital for an operation. Then I went out to smoke a cigarette, and there was a girl on the wheelchair, and it was raining really strong, and she was dancing with the wheelchair.
Oh, how cool!
Under the rain, and was so amazing. And, and this is what I feel in a way, that watching your picture is like a dance through the vision of something. So more going with emotion than to see straight what you want to see. It's like watching in a way the shades of your visual part. I mean, in general, there are most of the picture you have they follow this style, this technique, this experimentation, and there are some others, they go straight to the point. And what is the difference between them? What I see is sometimes just the power of the character, and I'm curious to understand if this define you in a way as a human and photographer, if there are some character that are really powerful, strong in a way for you, and that you have to capture them as they are, and some others are just second character that's to take control.
Yeah, I think for the most part, people in my photographs are kind of secondary, or they're not a particular person. They're a person, but you wouldn't know them on the street. You don't see them well enough in the photo that you could recognize them later. So they're a person, but not a particular person. Sometimes in New York, the people are just so special, that they really stand out in a photo. And sometimes the colors of what they're wearing really tie in with everything, or their hairstyle is so incredible. You really want to highlight them. But for the most part, I keep my figures mysterious, I think.
So you usually stay in distance from the stories of other people, so you catch just them with a certain distance, or happens sometimes that you connect with these people.
Right. Often they're reflected, or they're, so that they're blurred out in some way through a reflection. I like to find things. I don't normally take reflections in pure glass. I try to take reflections on something that abstracts it in some way. So sometimes marble, or my favorite thing to take reflections in are UPS trucks, these delivery trucks in the United States. They're brown with textured surface, and they're everywhere because they're making deliveries all the time. So whenever when I go to see what's reflected in it, because they make some really interesting reflections.
Yeah, it's really nice. The yellow of the UPS, it's really reflecting everything. I've seen recently, out of my house, there was a camion of UPS, really big, and was reflecting the yellow on the ground of the street. Was so cool, really, really cool. And just to know a bit more about you, what is your impression? How do you read your picture?
How do I read my pictures?
If you can do it, that I mean.
I'm not sure what you mean.
I mean, if you have to translate your picture in words, how would you translate that?
Well, as I think I'm trying to show the mysteries and ambiguities of the world and its many different parts and complexities. I mean, that's kind of a broad, different pictures vary, but as a broad description, that's what I would say. The beauty of the world, I find it very beautiful, even if challenging sometimes.
Yeah, it's a challenge in a way. It's a challenge. Also to get some words from your inside is a bit difficult. I have to find the right words. I think.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
But I think we can get it. In a way, we can get it. So I would love to.
If I could explain it in words, I wouldn't need the photos, but it's hard to explain in words. But.
Yeah, I think you're right in that. But I think also today it's really important to also know what we are showing.
Yes, no, for sure.
The thing is, if I want to say something with the picture, I say something with the picture, and the real question is. I'm really sure to say what I want to say with the picture. This is the question I have always for everyone, also for myself always. If I'm really sure that this message is the right message I want to
say. What you're trying to say, yeah. For me, a lot of times though, I go out and I'm really drawn to something and I photograph it, and then I go back and try to figure out why I want to photograph it. It's more I'm first attracted to it, and then I try to understand it rather than going out and with an idea and trying to find it.
So what do you usually do? I mean, how is composed your life in general, not as a photographer, as Linda?
As Linda, well, I'm retired now, so I have a fair amount of freedom to go out and photograph. I'm also paint. So I'm very lucky that I now get to spend a lot of time doing art, either painting or photography. I'm trying to learn to combine the two as well, painting and photography, but that's still coming. So I spend a lot of time doing that. I live near the Brooklyn Bridge, so I love to go photograph it or walk across it or walk into this Manhattan. And I just like to wander the city. That's a lot of fun for me.
And you was originally from Brooklyn?
I lived here 25 years. I've lived around the country for work and things, but I came here 25 years ago. I worked for the city for quite a while, and now I'm retired.
And where you was born?
I was born in upstate New York, near Utica.
Okay, so we can say it's your habitat, Brooklyn now.
This is definitely
quite long, and I think you traveled also a bit now in your life, and there was some places got your attention more than others, and which places?
Yeah, well, there's neighborhoods around here. There's a neighborhood called Dumbo, down under the Manhattan Bridge is what it stands for, and it's kind of an old industrial area, and I find that I love that to wander around there and under things and look through things and find things there. It's a great neighborhood. I like to photograph in downtown Manhattan. I used to work in downtown Manhattan for the financial district, so I'm familiar with that. It's got a lot of reflections and a lot of things to look into. So that's another favorite area to photograph.
Yeah, cool. Really interesting. And last question, then I will leave you free to continue to create. And, if you have to dream for an experience you didn't do it until now, what kind of experience you would love to do?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think I would like to travel to more places. I maybe especially longing for that now because we haven't been able to travel for so long. But I spent some time in Europe, but I would love to travel much more to Europe and much more to Asia. Japan and China and just see many more cultures and people.
Yeah, I would love to Asia for sure. More than
Yeah.
people, I would love to eat. I mean, it's my topic, eating. But
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely more travel. Also, if I think in a way, it's really difficult for me, and I can imagine also for you to travel because we are in a way always traveling inside of our creativities, and then this take a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I feel like yeah, I would love to travel, but it's really stressful in a way.
It is stressful. It's true. Well, and of course now it's not really possible, but
Yeah, now, yeah, the period is what it is. It's going to pass. I think probably in the next year, probably will go away.
eventually.
But
Boy, I thought it'd be over by now.
but I don't think it's. I mean, it was not a limit for me. This. I mean, I traveled also during the COVID, and it's not this really the point, but it's more about what we do. It's what I struggled with because if I have to imagine to travel, then I don't have the time to doing, for example, the podcast or to
Yeah. No, it takes a lot of time. You have to plan it. You gotta get all ready. You go.
you know,
Takes a lot of time.
this is always a point for me to reflection and say, okay, if I have to travel, but I have to stay 3-4 months there, you know. So it's like that. And
Yeah.
anyway, thank you a lot for your
Thank
short
you so
talk
much.
with me, and it was nice to see you and to get in touch with you. And she was Linda Acker, and you will find the description the link to her website and Instagram. And thank you a lot. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Learn more about our project at allmylinks.com/BerlinExplorer or visit our Instagram and follow BerlinExplorer project.